Flint Lockwood.
So, what was that?
Nikki has not changed since 3rd grade. He's still a nerd.
I'm the funniest guy you'll ever meet. I'm just more confident now. So
Funny looking.
Damn, son.
Thank you for watching.
You set that
Thank
one
you
up,
for
man.
watching. We're gonna
We have a new best friend, guys.
Yeah, this is the last episode.
From Mr. Broke Productions, in an association with Maximillionaire and Vice City Kingpin, present to you Life on Easy Mode. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Life on Easy Mode podcast. Today is a special episode because we are having our first guest on here for the first time in a long time. Last time was early November, late October. Our friend Kunle, an artist who does hip-hop, R&B, soul, the goods. Today we have another guest who is a friend of mine that I've known since first grade. It's long time, 15 years now. He's been a DJ for as long as I've known him. Coming out of Smithfield, Rhode Island. So everyone watching, everyone listening, please give a warm welcome to our friend, DJ Alex Brown. Thank you for having us, or thank you for coming on the show. Thank you us for having you on. Welcome.
Okay.
So,
Grammar.
Thank you, me, for
Coming.
what?
So, why don't you give a minute to introduce yourself to everyone listening and watching? Just give like a little synopsis of what you do, what you're all about.
Sure. Which camera should I look at?
You can,
that one.
yeah,
Look at
that
that
one.
one?
Yeah.
Cameras.
Okay.
'Cause anytime you talk, it's
I'll
gonna
just
cut
look
to you.
down and okay.
Yeah. If you want to move a little closer to the mic too, that's fine.
That's fine.
ASMR.
He's fitting right in.
Is it
Yup.
AMS? I don't know.
ASMR, yeah.
Okay, I got it right the first time. Anyway, I'm DJ Alex Brown. For these two guys who don't know me, follow me on Instagram at DJ Alex Brown, at DJ Alex Brown Pro. That is where I post all sort of
two
my
accounts.
business stuff. I actually have about 7 Instagram accounts, but we don't need to talk about those ones today.
Yeah, you follow me on like 3 of them, I think.
Yeah, probably. I also used to manage the Johnson & Wales University Involvement Board Instagram account, but I just graduated. So bachelor's degree in business administration.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yep, did that program in 3 years, but my main gig right now is being a full-time mobile and club DJ. Obviously, it's mostly mobile events that kind of allow me to be full-time, but I do mostly weddings. Now, after the past 2 years, I really kind of position myself into being mainly a wedding DJ, but I do Sweet 16s, school dances, pretty much anything that you're willing to pay me for. So
Cool. You know, the money talks wherever the business is. So the way we have it set up is we have 9 questions. We were going to ask 3. Well, we have 3 each that we want to ask, but
Okay.
if we don't get to the 9 questions, we're not going to worry about it. Just as long as the conversation's good, we just have these questions just so they're there. So if we get to like 5 questions, that's fine as long as we're
We also
having good
might
dialogue.
ask you different questions that aren't on the list.
okay.
Yeah, something that's
Just
like
something
Off-
that
off
might
topic,
like tip off my curiosity, and I just
And
want
if
to
you
know.
want to ask, I gotta keep doing this. If you want to ask us questions too, if you have any interest, just feel free to ask.
Okay.
so. All right.
Yes,
let's-
me and Nikki are sharing a mic for everyone who is wondering why I sound like I'm 500 feet into a bowling alley. Yes.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to share a mic. But that's all right. So I'll start off because I got the starting off question. How did you discover your interest in being a DJ? Like, where did this all come from?
You know, honestly, that's a great question because I totally fell into DJing by accident. You might have been part of the band that started all this.
I'm
actually.
sorry. Wait, no, wait. We're going back up.
So
Nikki
what
in a
you're saying
band?
is you owe Nikki a cut.
And Nikki, wait,
Where's my royalty fees?
Nikki is in a band.
Well, okay, so here's the deal. Like 5th grade, me and a couple other kids had a band. I know Brandon England was a part of it.
I remember him.
I was going to say, you got to remember Brandon. I think you might have been part of it too, but like I was going to be the sound guy and get the sound gear and like so we could play shows and stuff. And so I bought a mixer and a set of speakers on Craigslist. And from that, obviously the band, fell through as soon as we went to middle school, as
Sounds like
5th
Nikki
grade
some-
bands happen. Has a mental fart.
That's okay. We have those.
I don't remember this. I think you might be thinking of someone else. Maybe Lucas, because I know he.
It could have been. I don't know, man.
But-
we're talking like how many years ago now? We were 10 years old
So
or
yeah,
something?
like 11 years ago.
Yeah, 11 years ago. I mean, I don't remember what I had for breakfast today, dude. Actually, I didn't eat breakfast, but
Oh, he remembered. Boom.
yeah. I would start bringing it to like friends' parties, like the speakers and the mixer, and like using my iPod to play music because I was like, hey, whatever, you know.
Was it one of those things where like it's like speakers on the side and you just plop the iPod in the middle?
No. It was
Okay.
like legit speakers. Like I had a mixer,
Damn,
a
came out
giant
iPods.
ass mixer, way too big. And like 2 like legit speakers on like stands. And I think the first party that I like brought it to was Daniel Perkins's birthday party one year. You might have been there for that.
Oh, I was there. Yep. I've been
And
to
I was
probably every one of his
I
parties.
was using like the iHeartRadio app to play like Coast 93.3 and 92 Pro FM through the speakers.
Yep.
And but yeah, that's how I got my start in DJing.
Mans was like, I played
But
iHeartRadio, and it's just like, this is it.
This is it.
But people started asking me to like if they could pay me to do like a Halloween party and stuff, and that's kind of how like it actually got started. And I was like, okay, well these people want lights, and they'll pay me a little extra money for lights, so I'll go buy some lights. And then, you know, that just kind of started it rolling, and it became more of a business, and then, you know, now a career. So, yeah.
What was the name of this band? Do you remember? I really want it to be like something ridiculous.
Smithfield Boys.
Smithfield Boys.
There's a few words that I used to come up with, so maybe that was we named the band, but I don't remember being a
I
part of
think
Virginities.
I think at one point I had wanted to call it N Fusion, like nuclear fusion.
it. No, you mean Nikki Fusion.
Fusion.
Yeah, sure. That's
Yeah.
Yep, totally.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, no, not nuclear. Nope.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, so what kind of band was this gonna be? Was this gonna be like a hard
like
rock, techno rock? What were we talking?
I think hard rock, but honestly,
My guy.
we were like taking music like lessons on like guitars and shit. We weren't like writing our own songs and stuff. This
He's
is
basically
fifth
playing
grade.
guitar here at the parties. So.
I just remember this one time in 3rd grade. There was a talent show. Me and Brandon, we did Rockstar by Nickelback, and
That's
he kinda
probably what started it.
he stood there. It was just me and him. It was just he stood there and I played the guitar, not playing any chords, just strumming.
I think I
open
vaguely
strings.
remember
And
that.
I was like, well, you know.
I remember like singing that in the shower when I was a kid, and I was like, I'm gonna be a rock star, man.
Yeah, man. Too bad Chad Kroger's anything but a rock star. But
Yeah.
you know that's.
Because
we just won't
need
Copyright.
Speaking of 3rd grade though,
Oh, yeah.
whenever I think of Nikki, I think of
here we
one
go.
specific moment in 3rd grade. I remember we were in the hallway outside of, what was our teacher's name? Anyway,
Miss Casali.
yes, Miss Casali, who she has a different name now, but
Like 5 times.
and Nikki just in conversation said crap in like a sentence, and all the 3rd graders, mostly girls, but all the 3rd graders just looked at him like, oh my god, and they like went to the teacher and were like, Nikki just said
The C word.
he said that bad word. You know the one that means poop. And to this day, that's all. That is like the one thing I remember from back then so vividly, and I was like, "Oh my god, this
As
kid
he's
just
telling
said
the
crap.
story-
That's such a bad word."
I still to this day do not remember that. I don't. I mean,
I
you-
wouldn't expect you to. But
I mean, but listen, I was ahead of my peers. I was saying
Did
swears
he get in
before
trouble
any-
for it?
I don't think he did.
That's probably why you don't remember it.
Yeah. 'cause-
Yeah.
Because he probably just said it and just like forgot about it. Like,
And the
oh,
teacher's like,
that's my regular
dude,
vocabulary.
listen, Miss Casali had a twitch by the time I was done with her class that year. I don't think she cared at that point anymore. But
As you were telling the story, all I can think about is the flashbacks from like the George Lopez show where just Nikki is just a big head on a small body. He just goes crap.
just walking down the hall, you know, with my like Spider-Man shirt on and everything. Oh my god! But you know what? I believe I said that because
And he's come a long way.
Come a long way.
And now says shit.
I say a lot of more, you know, adult words now, Mom. So you know, hope you're proud. But yeah, you know, we got a little off topic here. I want to get back to the question of DJ. Gian, you want to ask your question?
I'm not number 2.
No, you're not. Oh, I guess.
I'm number 2.
All right, you go then.
Which is crap. Well, what's the toughest part about being a DJ?
I think it kind of depends on the scenario. Like, for me, I'd always say it's probably requests, and I think a lot of people think it's requests because, like, you know, when I say requests, you guys are probably like, oh, people are so annoying, you just want to play what you want to play, but it's not even like that. Like, at the club, for example, like, when we're talking Coliseum, this year Coliseum is strictly an EDM club. House music, dubstep, it doesn't really matter, but it has to be EDM. We can't play, we can play remixes of, Bad and Bougie as long as it's a house remix. We can't play the original song. And people are coming up to me at, hey, can you play some Spanish music? I'm like, no. This is an EDM club. And people are like, oh, come on. And of course it's always like, the pretty girls that are coming up asking that. And they're like,
I can play whatever
my
you
song.
want.
Oh, hey.
I forgot how funny this kid was. I forgot.
But I'm like, I will get fired. I will never be back at this club if I do that. So no. Also, they don't realize that I have a girlfriend. I'm like, I don't give fucking shit. So
you can't just do like a remix of Un Poco Loco,
Well,
Pollo.
and I try and have remixes of like hit stuff. Obviously not that, but like, I'll have remixes of like Go Loco and stuff. Obviously that's not Spanish music, but for an example of like hip hop rap stuff. But people just don't understand, like, you are not my client. The owners of the club are my client. Yeah. They're the ones who decide to have me back. Whereas at like a wedding, some people come up and request a song that just doesn't make any sense. Sometimes they're drunk. Okay, a lot of the times they're drunk. And they come up and they're requesting either a song that's stupid or a song that's like literally on the Brides Do Not playlist. And I'm like, I can't play it because either A, look, honestly, dude, that just doesn't fit. That's the DJ's way of kindly saying that's a stupid song.
Right.
Or it's literally on the Brides Do Not playlist. Then they go over to the bride and they're like, no, he can't play that. That doesn't make sense. And these people are so drunk. I mean, open bar, man. It's great. It gets people dancing, but
don't nod your head.
It will get people requesting songs and up the DJ's ass. And I love open bars because people are like on the dance floor just having the time of their life, but also it can be so hard as a DJ.
So we bar hop, right? This one especially likes to drink. So if you ever see us in a bar, do us a favor and kick us out.
No,
I'll just be like, oh, security, take these guys out.
Excuse me,
Look, I know them.
Too, so I know them.
Alex,
Okay, yeah.
listen, can you play Sexy and I Know It for me, please?
No, he's gonna ask for watermelon sugar.
Yeah. For you, look me in the eyes. I'll play anything.
He's finna.
I'm telling your girlfriend now.
Better watch out, bro. About to be DJ fired in a minute.
Oh, shit. Oh my god.
DJ crap.
DJ crap. You know what? That makes me think of something because of that gay energy we just had going on. And by the way, no offense to gay people. I love everybody. LGBTQ. I literally have a hey, I'm accepting on my website. But at a wedding, like last weekend, this dude comes up to me and he's like, hey, yeah, you're doing a good job, blah, blah. We're kind of, just conversing quick. Like, people tell me this all the time. You're doing an awesome job. Can I have a card? What's your name? So we're talking a little bit and he's like, do you think I could take you out on a date sometime? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm actually in a relationship. He's like, oh, you have a boyfriend? Total seriousness.
So he just assumed from the start you gay. Did you have a certain haircut or what was going on there?
No. Pretty much as is. I mean, I got a little haircut between then and now, but I wasn't down to my shoulders. Probably.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
he was like, oh, you must get that all the time. I'm like, no, actually, I literally haven't heard that since Nick Patnod was bullying me in 5th grade.
I remember that kid. He's saying all these names I remember. My goodness. Don't worry. He bullied me too. Don't worry.
Yeah, that was a rough time.
These kids in Smithfield have generic names. I'm gonna say that. They do.
I mean, Alex. It's generic.
We literally had.
I was unique. Nikki, come on. How many?
When I was in high school, we had another Alexander Brown in the school. 2 years younger than me.
Oh, I moved to North Providence by then.
Yeah, you were out by then. You wouldn't know who he was, he played soccer too and everything. Because for a while I played soccer. Unless you saw the two of us, you wouldn't know we were different besides our grade level or actually looking at us or checking our middle names or something. It was literally Alex, because obviously my full name is Alexander. So it was literally 2 Alexander Browns in the school. And when they would go, it was like Joe Piva. I don't know if you ever heard that one, but on the intercom they go, okay,
there were 2
5th
of them.
grade Joe Piva to the office, 3rd grade Joe Piva to the office. Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, so he looked a lot like you as well.
He didn't look a lot like he had blonde hair, blue eyes, so we didn't look similar, but if you looked at it on paper, it was literally Alexander Brown and Alexander Brown. The only differentiation on paper would be grades and like middle names.
I see. I see. So, yeah. Well, I mean, is he a DJ now, or is he like a?
No,
is he a male stripper? What's he doing? Like, what's
No,
happening?
I think he's in like Haiti on some like Catholic mission trip. I don't know. I'm not really a religious
Jesus.
person anymore. But what's funny is I actually used to have him help me on gigs.
That's
So like
funny.
I used to have
That's funny.
the other Alex Brown come with me and help me DJ stuff.
Your boss would be like,
so
DJ
that's-
Alex Brown. You'd be like, which one?
It's like, yo, what's up?
Right. Yeah, and I had wanted to train him as a DJ too, but I don't think he was really like
Into
interested in it. Yeah.
That's
so
fair. Yeah, I mean, from what you're saying, you know, I mean, like, it sounds rewarding, but at the same time, dealing with a lot of people, especially with a lot of weddings, you got a lot of drunks. It can probably be pretty challenging sometimes. You have to really, I think, be into it. Like
yeah,
you
and I
are.
mean, I mentor people, you know, a few years younger than me all the time. Sometimes people that are older than me. I mean, the guy I was just telling you about before we started the show, you know, he's like 35, and I'm teaching him how to DJ. And I happily train people how to DJ. Like, I'm not one of those DJs who's like, competition, no, I won't teach you anything. But, you know, like, there's a couple 18-year-olds that I've been bringing to gigs, showing them stuff, and they're like hungry to DJ. Doesn't matter what it is. They don't really even care about the money. They just want to be a DJ. And I'm, you know, you have to be in that situation where you really want it, because otherwise you shouldn't be a DJ. You know,
Yeah.
people who are like, I want to go to parties all the time. You know, I want to make a ton of money. Not a good reason to get into DJing.
Right. I mean, it's rewarding, you know. It's
Yeah.
cool that, like, if you can make a living off of it, you know, obviously you
Right.
want to make decent money, but that shouldn't be the main goal. That can go for a lot of things too, like,
Yeah.
you know, just with
Really anything.
really anything. I mean, you want to make a living, but, like, at the same time, it's like, you know, as long as I'm living comfortably, I don't need to be a millionaire. Just as long as I love what I'm doing. Which,
Yeah.
you know, it's good to acknowledge that now rather than just be like, all right, let's see, what are my finances looking like this week? Let's see, $1,000, $1,000, one wedding,
Yeah.
one wedding, you know. At that point, you're just looking at a checkbook all day.
Yeah.
So-
and, I mean, I was just telling you that I left my full-time job working for my uncle to pursue being a full-time DJ.
Big step, so congrats.
Only 2 months after graduating college. And, you know, for me, I get great freedom of time. I can make it work on what I'm making DJing, as long as, you know, we don't get shut down from the Delta variant or whatever this new thing is. You know, not to knock COVID, hashtag get vaccinated or whatever, but, you know, it does have real effects. I mean, it shut my industry down for at least a year and a half, and that was tough. Being self-employed, unemployment, for only part of that, still, you know, it's not quite what you're making as a DJ, and it's tough when you're not doing events, but you still have to try and book them and fight to get customers and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually going to be one of my questions, but you just answered it. Like, you know, with this, you know, virus going around when this happened, like, what did you do? So you still try to make it work out, but you had unemployment help out?
Yeah, so I had, you know, there was a period where I was doing some Grubhub because I hadn't gotten the unemployment yet. I was working for my uncle during the day, kind of doing Grubhub at night, because I had for maybe 3 months where I had these huge credit card bills that were coming from when I was, you know, the winter season. We kind of came out of the winter season and then got shut down. And coming out of that winter season, you know, the first 2 or 3 months of the year is when I'm prepping things for that next year. So getting into advertising contracts with, say, Wedding Wire. By the way, if you're DJing, or any wedding vendor, never advertise on Wedding Wire. I have videos on my YouTube channel about it, but just don't do it. You know, tax bills, first and second quarter tax bills. I mean, it was a rough time initially. And then I got the self-employed unemployment, and, you know, that was good because it was consistent income. But, you know, you're still not doing the actual DJing.
Right.
And that did kind of suck. And it sucked to always have events right around the corner, and then a month before they would get rescheduled, you know, postponed because they didn't see regulations as being lifted until after.
So can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure.
When did you stop DJing before the pandemic started?
What's funny is pretty much my last event was a middle school dance that I've done for probably 5 or 6 years now. Enough to see some of the kids go through middle school, high school, and graduate and go to college, because some of them especially like some of the younger boys, they're like, I want to be a DJ. What's your Instagram? But yeah, it was like, I think we got shut down only a few days after that last event that I did. So I mean, I had like 2 weeks later, I was supposed to have an event, but that obviously got canceled. Initially people were postponing some of the proms and school dances and stuff that I had, but then it got to the point where it was like June, July, and they were like, okay, we're just going to cancel this. So
around March?
Yeah, it was around March. I mean, it was as soon as they said essentially the 2-week freeze on like the clubs downtown, and sent everybody home from college, which Johnson Wales, I think I was in the classroom for 2 days in our third trimester, and then we were sent home until, I mean, I never stepped foot in a classroom again, which was kind of crazy. But yeah, I mean, I think we were shut down on like the 9th or the 10th or the 15th or something of March, and I had an event on like the 6th, 7th, or 8th or something like that. So it was pretty close. So when it's that close, it's not like, oh, you didn't have events all winter and now you're not going to have events anymore. It's like you were getting back into it, and then everything just stops.
Just like boom.
Yeah.
It's scary.
So when did you start back up?
So I mean, that's kind of complex to answer because I had a Sweet 16 in August of last year, towards the end of the month, that had been planned to happen earlier, and they kept pushing back, but they really wanted to have it. And there were some changes with the event because it was really originally supposed to be for 2 girls, and then it was only for 1. And actually, that Sweet 16 had come down from that middle school dance. So they had been in that middle school 2 or 3 years prior, and they DM'd me on Instagram and were like, do you do Sweet 16s? And that's how I got that, but that's kind of a tangent. But that was the first thing like I did again, and then I did like maybe 2 weddings, September and October, and like a rental or something, because I do event productions and rentals, speakers, TVs, crazy stuff.
You're renting out like your equipment and stuff?
Yeah, and I've done stuff for the state of Rhode Island, so I've had some big clients with that. Through the winter, we were pretty much shut down until May 15th was the first back into the swing of things. It was a wedding, May 15th. The mask mandate was about to be lifted. Of course, nobody was wearing masks at that wedding. Nobody was wearing masks at wedding the whole time. Yeah. I had a random event in January in New Hampshire. They didn't really have any regulations. The wedding had been moved, so it wasn't like one date where I went from having nothing for a year and a half to starting to do stuff weekly again. It was kind of like I had a few events when they tried to reopen last year, and then once the vaccines kind of came out and the COVID cases came down and masks didn't have to be worn anymore, then I wasn't boxed in, and I actually saw that, okay, I'm gonna have this wedding, and then 2 weeks later I'm gonna have another wedding, and then 2 weeks later I'm gonna have 2 weddings on this weekend. So since that May 15th reopening of my business, I've pretty much been open since then.
That's good.
Feels like May 15th feels like a long time ago.
Honestly.
May the 15th be with you.
It does. No, to your credit, it really feels like forever ago. I mean, we're talking such a different time,
like 3
with
months
having
ago.
masks. When you're not wearing a mask at a wedding, but you still have to wear a mask when you go into the grocery store. The club wasn't open yet. Stuff like that. It feels so different. I mean, I'm even looking back a month ago, and I'm like, that was only a month ago, or 2 weeks ago. I'm like, that was 14 days ago.
It's like we crossed over to a parallel universe.
It's August 9th already, so summer's
Yeah.
gonna have 1 more month, and then
We didn't really have
And
a summer. All
hopefully-
of July was just rainy crap.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I have never seen so many wedding ceremonies get rained on as I have this year. I don't think I've ever had one with inclement weather. And this year I had 2 that had some sort of inclement weather that messed them up, whether it was delaying them, having thunder while they're, under a little tent thing, and getting married, and then they scurry inside because there's lightning striking 500 feet away. Yeah, so it's definitely been a crazy year. It's not just COVID.
Yeah, I mean, I guess weather will definitely have an influence on it.
Yeah.
That's one of your questions.
It's not even on there. What is your busiest time of the year? It doesn't have to be during COVID, like summer, fall, winter, spring.
Yeah, so I mean, it depends. Honestly, it's a lot easier for me to tell you when the slowest time of the year is for me, because that's like, for me, that's November to February.
Okay,
Because,
that makes sense.
yeah, so sort of March into like April, May is kind of like school dance season. September, October, maybe early November is like homecoming season. There's a few scattered winter balls in like January, December, but that's like the really dead time when there's not Sweet 16s. There's not weddings going on really, unless you're out of season stuff. And then summer is usually like strictly like wedding season.
Okay.
So, a lot of my weddings happen from mid-May to the end of October, and then it's like a dead end in November.
Right. So I guess if we could figure out maybe like what is the busiest, we could probably say like between weddings and school dances, which of those take the most to prepare?
Well, definitely weddings take the most to prepare.
Right. Yeah, I figured, yeah.
But I'll say that for me this past year, what was my busiest was June, because I had proms going on that had been kind of pushed back a little more than they usually are because they wanted to have them, but it was like a little after the end of the school year sometimes. But I also had weddings going on, so I was like not really prepping for a prom, but I'd like do a prom on a weekday and then I'd have like a wedding on the weekend, and trying to juggle the communication and the time frames of when I can go set up for the prom, actually do the event, communicate with the bride and groom for the wedding, and work with all the vendors and the venue, and try and make a gig log, which is something I do a lot for my YouTube channel. You want to
shout that out real quick? YouTube channel?
Yeah, I mean, just search DJ Alex Brown on YouTube. I'll come up pretty quickly.
I'm subscribed, so you should be too.
Thank you.
Do that right now.
There you go.
Alex Brown.
Yeah, youtube.com/DJ Alex Brown if you can't find it.
I'll link it. Yeah, I'll link it.
Linked in the description. Thank you, Nikki. But I make like review videos for DJs. I make a lot of gig logs when I do weddings and stuff, that are kind of geared toward DJs and kind of geared toward like brides. I've had some fun like vlogs of like, okay, I did Hyperglow tour at the Strand, and backstage stuff, and that stuff's fun, but like it's not really like professional, so I kind of stopped doing that stuff. But unfortunately, gig logs and YouTube videos are on pause right now because about a month ago now, my camera was stolen out of my car. In Providence, I was DJing a club. I came back out to my car. My window was smashed. The only thing they took was my camera bag, and it's not like it was out, like it was hidden. There were like 10 other cars with smashed windows, so I think they just went around, smashed whatever window they could, went into the car, found whatever valuables they could, and ran. So
Was that in Providence?
Yes.
I see.
And Providence police, not really doing anything.
Let me guess. Was it near Federal Hill?
No.
It's probably downtown.
Oh, because that's where my
more
brother's car
downtown,
was,
near Coliseum.
Yeah.
Oh.
On Friendship Street, I think, was where it was parked.
Was that near that?
Don't park on the street in Providence at night. That's
No,
my tip.
but Miguel,
and don't leave anything in your car.
Near the Coliseum, is that where like that one thing happened that one time where we're like, remember you were taking photos also? We
No,
heard someone help, I'm being robbed!
That was near Kennedy Plaza.
Okay,
It was-
yeah.
That's
Big-
deep downtown.
Yeah, that's, near an alleyway. We hear at the end of the alleyway, help, he just robbed me. Miguel packed his car and said, okay, let's go,
I was taking pictures for a project that night.
Yeah.
And we were in like this alleyway that's like kind of residential. It's like a little street, but like no cars are allowed there. So I'm just like taking pictures, whatever.
Right near the Haven Brothers truck?
Yeah, it was like a street away, something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So then like he said, like we hear like screaming, and then like that guy just robbed me. So then I pack my stuff, pack my tripod.
He became an Olympic
ran.
runner.
You know how people like speed run solving Rubik's Cube? It looked like that when he packed his shit up. I never seen him pack something so fast.
Were
in
you
my
like
entire life.
Naruto running?
No, I couldn't because I had a whole ass like kunai in my fucking hand.
No, he was more
yeah.
like Usopp running from like Arlong's Men kind of type thing. Sorry, I just finished the Arlong Park, so I'm gonna reference that maybe.
Flint Lockwood.
So, what was that?
Nikki has not changed since 3rd grade. He's still a
Oh,
nerd.
I'm the funniest guy you'll ever meet. I'm just more confident now. So
Funny looking.
Damn, son.
Thank you for watching.
You set that
Thank
one
you
up,
for
man.
watching. We're gonna
We have a new best friend, guys.
Yeah, this is the last episode. So nah, but
Nikki's gonna go hang himself in the
fucking hell, you haven't changed either. I remember you used to bully me too. I think a little in elementary school.
Did I?
Probably. I don't know.
Man, look, from the bottom of my heart, anything I said to you, I am truly sorry.
But you did mean it.
No.
You should have went with it. You should have said
yeah.
yeah.
To give you an actual apology.
You should have went
Don't,
with it, bro.
bro. Don't apologize.
I would have been like, yeah, I meant it.
I
I
was
meant
the
it.
victim of bullying. Like,
Listen,
that's probably where it
self-deprecating
came
humor
from,
is the
but-
best kind of humor, right? Go for it. Go crazy.
Yes,
Okay.
we have
But-
all been bullied at this table, I hope.
Well, I like bully them.
If you went through
Mainly
high
him.
school, you were definitely bullied. If you weren't, then
Besides like the
I-
sports kids, I
who
guess.
were you?
But what was that thing you mentioned? You said it wasn't really like professional, but like those like really fun gigs you had. You just met. I forget what the name of them were. You
The
just
Strand.
The Strand was that?
Yeah, so like Hyperglow is one thing
Right.
that I did last year. They asked me to come back and do it this year, but you don't really get like paid for that. You know, they're like, it's very typical in like the club bar nightlife scene. They're like, this is a great opportunity for exposure, and they either don't pay or like, you know, essentially when you DJ Hyperglow, they essentially want you to be a promoter and then DJ the show. And this year I was like, look, I'm not going to be a promoter and not get anything to DJ. I mean, their tickets last year were, well, not last year, 2 years ago, were super overpriced for the show that they were having, and people knew it. They weren't buying tickets. The year prior, I sold like 50 tickets to the show. So, you know, I kind of wasn't feeling it this year, but it's fun stuff to do as a DJ.
Right.
You know, I'm someone who likes being on stage, and, you know, kind of like connecting with the crowd, I guess you'd call it, from that perspective. And, you know, that's something where I kind of get to play some of the music that like I personally like to play, some like EDM stuff. Yeah, and then bars, clubs, kind of the same deal. I mean, they pay, but not super well. You know, you're talking like $100 or $200 to DJ at a bar or a club.
Right.
depending
I mean,
on
for like a
how
few
long.
hours, that's not too bad.
No, but when you consider like, so let's take for example Coliseum. Hopefully Coliseum doesn't see this. They're probably gonna be
They
pissed at
probably
me.
won't.
But
I mean, we're the number one podcast in Rhode Island, so maybe I don't know. Yeah.
The best podcast in Rhode Island.
That's
Yeah, you might have heard about us. Yeah.
yeah, I don't. What's the name of the podcast?
It's called, what do we call it?
I don't even know. You're the editor here. What do we call this shit?
It's Channel 38, right?
Yeah. We're on,
Okay.
Cartoon Network. So
Game on hard mode.
If I open at Coliseum, I make $100, and that's like good opener pay because I'm a seasoned opener. I've been there for like forever. You know, starting out openers, sometimes openers don't even make money. Sometimes they only make $50. You know, so that's like, if you've never DJ'd there before, you might not even get paid to open.
when you say open, are you opening for another DJ that comes after you?
So like you play the first 2 hours and then they play the next 2.5.
I
so
see.
I go 10 to 12 and I've headlined too, so it's not like I exclusively open, but you know, and then they play 12 to 2:30 ish.
I see.
And you know, so that's like $100, but so like split that down, it's $50 an hour. You have to bring whatever equipment the headlining DJ needs. So usually they'll set it up so if they need CDJs, they're going to have an opener DJ that has CDJs. But a set of CDJs with a mixer is like $6,000. So when you're making $100 to open and you're bringing $6,000 in equipment, that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
But you know, I use a controller that I paid like $500 for. Granted, I got a really good deal from a friend, but you know, it's like a $1,300 controller normally. And you know, so you have to bring your $1,000 controller and yourself, risk, a lot of times you have to pay to park or else you'll end up like me and have your window smashed and your camera stolen. If you're not parked in a parking lot, so that's, $15 out of your pay already. And you have to be there early, obviously, to set up. And then you have to stay until 3:00 in the morning to get paid. So, it's like, it's great to be an opener if you can show up, use somebody else's gear, and stay till 12, get paid, leave, go DJ another club or something.
Right. But
whatever it is. But if you have to just show up there and DJ 10 to 12 and then stay until the ass crack of dawn, basically, that's what it feels like for me. Especially when you have to do a wedding the next day or something, it really sucks.
So with you opening for other DJs, have you ever met any of your heroes? Like anyone you've ever looked up to, whether if it's local or maybe someone who's big in New England? Have you ever like met someone that, maybe inspired you in some way?
So not with opening, not as like an opening DJ. I mean, I did meet DJ Art Beats, who, if you're familiar with David Guetta, he kind of produces with David Guetta, and he actually just got like one of those gold like record things.
Certified
like
gold?
Yeah.
RIAA?
Yeah, that. Yeah, so he just got that for an album that he worked on with David Guetta. So like, Art Beats is really cool, and David Guetta is personally one of like my favorite DJs of all time. He has been since like I started DJing. But sort of through DJing, I was doing Laid Back Luke's Kung Fu program. He's not as big as David Guetta, but he is a DJ and producer who, tours all over the world doing shows. And a couple of years ago, I got to meet him through the Kung Fu program because, I was one of his respectful students who wasn't like, hey, can you get me tickets to your show? So
You were there ready to work.
Well, so I was doing the Kung Fu program, which, I paid like $100 for this video series.
For our listeners, what's the Kung Fu program?
Yeah.
It's literally like an online like Kung Fu training. Like if you gave me a stick, I would be doing all this crazy twirling it over my head and shit.
I know you did that when you were like 2, right? Yeah.
Not online, but yeah, karate, yeah.
I had like that.
So it was like
that
videos that you followed along.
Yeah,
I had like a
just
sandbag
arrows.
I used to punch,
And so he's like a Kung Fu master essentially. They call it a Sifu. But so he was like selling his video series. I wanted a workout routine, so I was doing that for a while, and I saw that he had a show coming up in Boston, so I sent him an email because I had the email from getting the Kung Fu program. I said, hey, could you do a private session? I see you have a show coming up in Boston. Could we set up a private session? So I met him at his hotel, and we did a workout like in like it's not like the lobby, but it's like upstairs from the lobby. And he actually recorded some of it, and I'm actually on one of his vlogs on his YouTube channel. I couldn't tell you what number it is. I have it like saved somewhere. But
well, do you know how many subs he's got? Is this like a big deal kind of guy, or are we like?
You could probably look him up quick. I don't know if you want to, but
yeah. What's his name?
Laid Back Luke.
Laid Back Luke. Let's see.
Way more than I have. At least
More
20,000 plus.
Oh, yeah.
200.
Way more than us.
200K. He has almost 300K. Yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's not like a small like local DJ. He's from the Netherlands originally, I think.
He's on tour too.
And he tours all over the world DJing.
That's pretty based. I like that.
Super cool guy, by the way. Like, he's not like a dickhead like I'm better than you because I tour all over the world. Like he's super nice guy, like super humble. We had a conversation about like my DJ business and stuff, and yeah, just overall cool guy.
Nice.
What are the questions you guys got?
I've been talking a lot. Miguel, you asked your...
I feel like I've been talking...
He's been, like, answering, like, them as we haven't even asked him, and he's been answering them.
Basically, yeah,
Like, like, one of them was, like, what events do you do? He basically...
Yeah, I actually hacked all your phones before this, so I could...
so that's why Pornhub came up.
Jesus, I got you. Okay.
I got a question. Do you know any other local DJs?
Nikki, what just happened?
What?
Oh, no, just ignore him.
Okay.
Just ignore him.
I kind of just frothed in my mouth in the corner. Don't worry.
What was your question?
Do we have a vet around here? I think somebody needs a rabies
Do
vaccine.
you know any other local DJs?
What do you mean?
Like
Anyone
I know
else?
plenty of local DJs. Clubs, bars, wedding, 18-year-old,
All right.
50-year-old.
Okay, so then our ages. Do you know any like that you consider like big name?
Anybody from NP, you know, trying to rep, you know?
I don't know if he's from North Providence or Johnston because he honestly hasn't given me really a straight
Is he
answer.
Italian?
Yes.
All right, so he's from Johnston or North Providence.
His name's Gian Maselli.
Yes, he works at Stop and Shop. He's another Gian, yes.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
great. Oh wait,
Giancarlo is his full
Yeah,
name.
Gian.
Oh, I know him.
Giancarlo Sound. Yeah, I've
phone.
been. He came to me. He actually wanted to see if I was employing anybody. He called me at like 12 o'clock at night after I was DJing a gig. I was like, dude, who calls this late at night? Like, but anyway, so I brought him along to a couple of gigs. He's going down to Virginia for college, so he's only going to be a summer guy that can help me out, and I can kind of train.
Cool kid.
But you know, he's one of those guys that came to me and said that he has an interest in DJing and wants to learn, and you know, I'm happy to help people like that out. Another one is a club DJ friend of mine, Yano. His cousin is getting into DJing, so I've kind of been. I'm gonna bring him along this weekend for one of the weddings that I have this weekend. Joey, I don't know how to say his last name. It's like a cardio or something. It's from Johnston.
Oh,
Italian kid.
cardiology. I don't know.
It's like a
Scuzzinazio.
cardio Fontaine or something. I don't know.
Fontaine, I thought that was French.
I don't know.
Oui.
I mean, I'm 50% French, but whatever.
Sorry to hear that. I'm kidding.
I can't get over the fact you just cardiology or some shit like
I don't know, just Scuzzinazio, whatever the hell. Yeah, just Italians, bro. Them Italians, man, they're all over the place.
But
50% of the people in here are Italian.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So he.
I'm Italian.
He was getting into teen parties at the Coliseum before, you know, everything got shut down, and those are probably dead forever now. Honestly, I have no information on if those will ever come back. I hope they don't. I hate those things. I disassociated myself from them 2 years ago anyway, so it's not really my problem if they do. But, you know, I had showed him some stuff. I actually DM'd him on Instagram. Joey, if you see this, sorry, I'm throwing you under the bus. But I DM'd him on Instagram, and I was like, hey, you know, I'm happy to, like, show you stuff, bring you along to my gigs, and, you know, teach you, kind of mentor you if you want. And, you know, he said he was interested in that, and I was like, okay, well, I mean, you know, let me know what your gig interests are, like weddings, sweet 16s, clubs, whatever it is. And he kind of just ghosted me. And it's not like he doesn't know who I am. Like, originally, the Coliseum paid me to do, like, a Thursday night training session with him.
That's even worse, because he saw that it was you and he said,
He
no.
knows, like, I do a ton of weddings and sweet 16s and stuff that, you know, I know he wants to do, but the opportunity still stands. You know.
Haters.
I got a few questions before someone else takes over.
Oh, I was
Okay.
also gonna ask a question.
It sucks.
You know what?
Let me talk. Let me ask the questions, Mr.
I've only asked one question.
I don't care.
Yelling at me.
We do not care. What programs do you use? Like to
DJ?
Yeah.
So as far as mixing and stuff, I use Serato. Like that's like the world's most common DJ software. It's not like there's two like legit DJ softwares, and it's really Virtual DJ and Serato. I originally started out on Virtual DJ, and then it like stopped working with iTunes or something, and I was like, F this, I'm just gonna use Serato, and I've never had a problem with Serato since. So but yeah, I use Serato. Then there's a whole bunch of these like DJ Pro that are like, you know, iPad DJ programs that got adapted into a laptop, and they're just, I don't consider those like professional DJ programs. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I used to do some production. I used Logic for that. That's about it.
I'll let you go first, and then I'll ask the rest of my
I feel
questions.
Since he's being a petty bitch.
But now, like, I'm like listening to myself thinking the question. I'm like, fuck, did he already answer this? But I'm gonna.
I mean, if I did, I'll just repeat myself.
So
and
we're
call
on
you
the topic
stupid.
of music. We're on the topic of DJing. So music. So what are your favorite like artists?
That's what I was gonna ask
Your
next.
favorite like music genre, songs, etc.
So I mean, I like a lot of different things. I'd say probably like my favorite is like EDM stuff, which is pretty stereotypical for a DJ. But you know, I like.
DJ?
Shit.
You like
did
EDM?
I thought you were a DJ, Nikki.
Yeah.
DJ Virgin.
So like
Just getting roasted today.
some hip hop rap stuff. You know, I like some of that too. It really just kind of depends on what it is. Like there's certain artists that sometimes I just really don't like. For a while, I really hated Cardi B. Some of her newer stuff isn't as bad, but
Why didn't you continue the hate train? What's going on? What changed?
she got less annoying, I guess.
Well,
Well,
I
you
don't-
know, Megan the Stallion came around.
All right, we're gonna move on.
Yeah, you should probably cut that
Wait,
out. You should probably cut that out.
To bounce
but
off of that, so do you
I
know
like
any
some
local?
Spanish music. Like,
Do you know any local
I know,
artists?
I'm white as
Like, do you
fuck,
know who
but-
Kunle is?
no.
No.
He's
Damn.
he's the artist we had on our show once. He, like I said earlier, does hip hop, R&B, some pop. So he's really cool. Any other like? Do you listen to any local like guys you know who are from Rhode Island, or maybe someone you know personally that you might like say, hey, you know, I like their stuff.
Not really anyone that I can think of right now. You know, there's a couple of friends of mine that like I went to high school or college with that I'll support on their tracks. You know, kid from Boston, Deontay. He it's so funny because I had a class with him in college, finance class, and the professor always called him Denote. But you might remember Mason Walmsley.
Yep.
He was doing some rap for a while.
I remember that.
And I helped him on some of his tracks. I was, you know, promoted his stuff. So, you know, mostly it's limited to people that like I know. I don't really do much like discovery of music that's not like popular because a lot of times I'm, you know, listening to stuff that's on DJ subscriptions, not like, you know, SoundCloud and stuff like that. Yeah, so a lot of times I don't really discover stuff like that.
So besides the music that you DJ, like, do you listen to any type of music that you don't use while you're DJing?
If anything, it's that I DJ with more music
That you listen to?
than what I listen to.
Okay.
So like, you know, I listen to maybe 2 or 3 genres of music pretty exclusively, and you know, pretty select number of artists. But when it comes to DJing, pretty much play whatever the client wants. You know,
Okay.
if it's Bride, like, you know, she'll give me a request list, or people make requests at the event. You know, as long as they're not something stupid that, you know, someone drunk off the open bar is asking for, then
You know, like, hey,
you know, I
pay
usually
Freebird.
play it. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the event too. But like this wedding I did last weekend, I think. You know, this bride wanted a lot of hip hop, rap, R&B, some top 40 type stuff, and a lot of Spanish music. And one of the guests actually came up and was like, you know, when I first saw you, I didn't think you would play good music, like Spanish music and stuff, and rap. And I was like, well, I'm doing a good job, right? She's like, yeah, you are. And I'm like, look, I get it.
She probably thought you were like one of those.
I'm a
kids
scrawny little white boy. I get
you
it.
know, in like a punk band in his mom's garage. You know, that's probably what she thought when she saw you. You know,
Yeah.
You know, like Nirvana influence kind of type
She
beat.
she probably thought I was listening to like classical music or something. Because you gotta put yourself into the scenario that this is at a wedding. So you know, I'm wearing dress shirt, tie. It's not like, you know, t-shirt Alex. It's fancy Alex. So you know, she's probably like, he's upper echelon Newport, listening to the classical music on his weekends.
Did you have like that thing that like what are those things called? Those sticks that the course teacher would use? The
No.
wand thing? No, you didn't have one of those? Damn.
I forget what those are called. I should probably know that. I
Like
was
the
a
Conductors.
No, that's what
Oh,
the conductors.
It's a composer.
No.
Pretty sure it's called a conductor.
I think.
Composer. Compose music.
I think it's called a conductor.
Well, the person is called a conductor.
Boom.
Composer is. I don't know.
Well, the composer is the person who creates the music.
So then, what if the conductor is the composer?
Well, they could be both.
A music baton is what I'm seeing here.
That's
No,
what
I
was
know
thinking
it's
it
called
was,
something
but
different, but
That's what it says
It's
here.
called, it's called a fight stick.
The
I do
baton.
think it's a baton.
just a baton.
Yeah,
I do
baton.
So
think
is
did you
a-
like? So
yeah,
you can
it's
beat your
used for-
students with it if they don't do right.
Well,
right?
That's what,
it might break, but
Whiplash.
You know, throws a chair at him.
Was not expecting baton.
Yeah, I could have sworn to God it was named something different.
Nikki,
but-
you played a note out of line. Bam!
Boom! Exactly, dude. I remember the course teacher for our middle school, skinny white dude, 6'4", but pretty.
Mr.
damn-
Maker.
Yeah, Mr. Maker, pretty strict dude. You know.
Yeah.
You did something wrong, he'd be like,
J.K. Simmons.
I
like
forget.
you saw like air blew out of his nose, like just.
I forget what it was, but he was so pissed at me over something one time, and he never let me live it down. I can't remember what it was.
He probably did like a remix of like Mozart, and he was like, "How dare you!" You know, type beat.
I don't know what it was, and I was always like, because I had him for like acoustic guitar or something one year, and I think it might have been that like he didn't like how I strummed, because I strummed like an electric guitar player, because that's kind of where like my guitar roots came from, like 5th grade. And he wanted me to like full hand strum or something. I don't remember.
Or did he want you to like do more plucking maybe, or?
No, I don't remember what it was. I think it was like more like full
I see.
strums instead of like, I don't know. I think I was more, I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah. He not a bad guy, but pretty interesting individual. Pretty
Yeah,
strict.
well, you remember Mr. Mangini, right?
Mr. Mancini, yeah. I think it was Mancini. I don't think it was
No,
Mangini.
it was Mangini.
There was a G in it?
Yes,
Yeah, I remember.
it was Mangini.
I remember him, yeah. He was
He was a special character.
special character. Funny as hell looking back at it now,
Yeah.
but he did not
Yeah.
like me in the slightest. So,
I could never tell if he liked me. Well, you know, he had no eyebrows, so it was impossible anyway.
Over here, like, oh,
Yeah,
Wait,
Mr. Mancini.
Yeah, wait, can I just
Yeah.
give
No.
you guys my introduction to this man? So, Mr. Mangini.
No.
right?
Okay,
No.
pause.
Anyway,
This isn't about Mr. Mancini.
So it's about me and the gals.
Yeah.
So
Do you make any playlists like outside of like just for yourself or other people?
No.
No. Okay.
Not really. What I do, it's like, you know, a wedding dinner music playlist that I put out for, you know, brides can go look at and say, I
So-
want this one or this one, because, you know.
So you have like preset playlists, and then brides just choose. Ooh, let me choose that one. Or do you like get a list, make it, and then just play it?
It depends. I mean, when I'm DJing, I'm usually, especially like during dancing and stuff, you know, I'm kind of playing on the fly. So I might have like a list of songs that I'll work off of, but I usually see in Serato, they're referred to as crates, which kind of dates back to like before we had computers and DJs used vinyl. They would use a milk crate to transport it. What you had in the crate was what you had to use. I prefer to refer to them like properly as crates, because it kind of makes sense as to how I use them, because I kind of have, okay, well, you know, this is what I would normally play for wedding dancing, and the bride wants pretty typical wedding music. So, you know, your Whitney Houston, stuff like that. And, you know, I kind of select from it, but it's not like I have like a set list of like, I'm going to play this and then this and then this. And I mean, sometimes there's songs that I'm like, okay, well, I know those two are going to mix together, so I'll play that one and then that one. But, you know, then it kind of comes down to what the couple or the client want. So, like, you know, sometimes brides send me a playlist on Spotify of dinner music or cocktail hour music, and, you know, I'll just play that, whereas I have my own like preset playlist that they can choose from, or kind of look over and decide if they want like some of that mixed with some other stuff. And, you know, I always leave it up to what people want, but it's not like I'm specifically like, yeah, I just use this one set for, you know, cocktail hour, dinner, dancing, everything. Like, it's whenever I do an event, it's very customized usually.
I have one last question, unless I come up with.
You only got one more, then you're gonna have to start paying me.
That's not gonna happen.
damn.
I have 1 hour free session. Besides DJing, do you make your own music, or have you tried or like dipped your toe in making your own music?
I did.
Ooh,
What was your stage name?
And DJ Alex Brown.
I did.
DJ Khaled.
I did have some interesting names over the years,
Oh,
because
please tell us.
originally when I started out DJing, I was DJ AB.
Okay.
Yeah,
which
all
is,
cops
you
and
know,
bastards.
DJ Alex Brown. DJ.
DJ.
Need a minute to settle down from that one. Disc jockey Alex Brown, DJ AB.
Yeah.
And then it was, you know, DJ AB always stood for DJ Alex Brown. And then I would go DJ Alex Brown, and then DJ AB Entertainment, and then DJ Alex Brown Entertainment, which is like what I currently
So this
operate
is
as.
all of his 7 Instagram usernames.
No, actually, it's
Isn't
not.
one of them like DJ AB Pro, or am I thinking?
Well, one's DJ Alex Brown Pro, and that's kind of where I post business stuff.
All right.
And then like my personal is like DJ Alex Brown, which that's like the only.
public one, or like your normal one. So.
Cool, thanks, man. If I don't follow you back, I
No, I will say
a
something.
lot of times I won't follow people back who like I don't know, but like it's not like on purpose.
Yeah.
Because I get a lot of people who follow me and they have like 500 followers and they're following like 2,000 people, and they're the people that go follow a ton of people and then go unfollow them after they follow them back. So
it's almost like they're a meme page, but they're not.
Yeah,
so that's what a lot of meme pages do. Yeah,
but yeah, so I used to produce. I kind of quit that right around before the pandemic started. I kind of did it on and off for a couple years. I have a couple of songs that you could dig out of iTunes or Spotify or something.
Would we get copyrighted if we played it now?
You probably would.
We don't get paid.
I don't know how you would get it taken off, because it's kind of like YouTube like auto does it, and then if you protest it, YouTube's just gonna be like,
You had to put
oh, it is.
He goes,
6 songs.
but do we have your personal permission right now to play a song?
You definitely have my
Well,
permission.
If we have his personal permission, that means we won't get copyrighted, because it would be his business.
I've had an author's personal permission and still gotten copyrighted. Like my friend Yano that I just mentioned.
Well,
Yeah. We can always just link him.
Yeah, we'll link it. We'll link your 3
I mean,
songs.
I wish I could say that like it comes to me if you dispute it.
Yeah.
But like it doesn't. It's gonna go to like the publisher, and they're probably just gonna be like, "Fuck these guys."
damn. Can you hum it for us?
Wait, are you independent?
Yes.
Then,
I mean, you could probably get away with.
technically,
we'll
you
just
could-
link it. We'll
I
just
mean,
link it.
yeah.
should we just take the ballsy risk?
No,
Just play like 5 seconds.
I don't feel like dealing with it,
No.
because I know I'm gonna have to be the one to deal with it.
So
Mm.
yeah.
And then my name's just slapped on there.
Yeah.
But there is one that you probably won't find that there was a time in, I don't know, high school maybe, like freshman year of high school, where I was really like, I don't want anyone to know that I produce music, because, there was the typical middle high school
Him with
your
YouTube.
music sucks.
Yeah.
And I had gone under like the name Jab. It was
Jockey Alex Brown.
it was lowercase d,
Oh.
so like silent D, JAAB.
Oh, Jab. I get it.
Yeah. So there's like one song released under that name.
I'm
And
not-
what is this one song called?
I think it's Main Stage.
Main stage. Did you like? So was it just beats?
It's
or did you,
trash. That one is just beats.
Okay, so
The other songs, the ones that are released like actually under my name, are a little more like real
Professional.
songs. I mean, they still don't sound that great.
you
Um,
rapped on them, and you mean
no.
stuff? Or, oh.
No, they're all electronic stuff.
I see.
All EDM.
Yeah. Some are a little more like dubstep vibes. Some are a little more like house type vibes. I never really fit into like a tech house, progressive house, bass house, real like dubstep. Like I never really fit into one of those categories, because I don't know. I guess I just sucked. If I'm being honest, I couldn't really figure out how to
You gotta have this
get
level
right
of.
to it.
You can have this confidence without being cocky. You can be like, you know what, my shit's good. People who out there are gonna like it. So if you don't,
I mean,
oh well.
Honestly,
you gotta
I
have
had
that
friends
confidence.
who supported my songs because they were my friends, but I don't think they.
See, you got to go past that. You got to go past it. You got to start reaching for the stars. You got to start hitting up like Geddas, like, hey, listen, I'm the next big thing. Here's my shit. Watch out. You got to have that kind of mentality. But at the same time, you don't have to be cocky about it.
I mean, see, I'm past that now. I'm probably never gonna try and produce again. I'll make a remix or an edit here and there.
I mean, you can take that same mentality with like DJing. You can go around the club saying, "Listen, I'm as good as they get. You want me for your weddings, school dances, everything."
Yeah.
You got to have. That.
Oh, I'm a little more cocky when it comes to DJing.
Oh,
I'm not.
okay, all
I'm
right,
not
that's
quite
good.
like, man. You know what I hate when it comes to DJs is like and I actually just helped a friend this past weekend do a wedding. He did it for a company, and that's a whole nother story of like, I think he's an idiot for some of the things he does for such small money, but. And he gets on the mic and he'll be like, and this next song we have coming up is, whatever it is. Come on, Eileen. I need you all to sing it for me. And he's like 26, and he's like one of the fucking cheesiest DJs I know.
God.
I could just picture a bald 26-year-old.
And that's one thing that like I try and explain to people is like, look, if you hire one of these companies, you could get anyone. And more than likely, you're going to get one of these cheesy ass motherfuckers who is like, ladies and gentlemen, now up to bat is Dustin Pedroia, number 26. And I'm like, I don't know what Justin Pedroia's actual number is. He's probably not even on the Red Sox anymore.
He isn't not anymore. He was just recently goodbye.
It's just something easy to say. I'm not a huge baseball fan. I mean, I do like the sport. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, I like watching it sometimes.
I'm not into it enough to tell you who's on the team right now. Even though I went to a game like 3 weeks ago.
You just went there. Was it with your girlfriend? Or?
Yeah.
There you go.
Passing out business cards.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, I should have. Oh, by the way, guys, I have to hand these out.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
he
Here we
was
go.
actually-
Yeah. Damn.
I mean,
Yeah.
I got them.
Ooh.
Actually,
Gotta have-
show us
gotta
the
have
card.
them on
Let me
me.
see. Let me see. Can I show it?
So that's the EPR one, and this is
Ooh, that's actually kinda nice.
It's an EPR one.
Some
EPR
DJs.
team.
DJ Alex
EPRteam.com.
Brown.
Okay.
Owner
Alex
of
Brown, owner
EPR
of
team.
EPR team, which stands
Alex,
Event
in
Production.
this photo, you look like a hitman.
Do I?
You look
Let me
like
see.
you look
That's
like
like-
an assassin.
That
He
is
looks like he's part of John
DJ.
Wick. He
Like-
just looks like
like the guy that John Wick calls for backup. That's
yeah.
him.
Well, you can thank the club photographer for that one,
Oh,
but
wow.
No, these look
Yeah.
pretty sweet. I like it. You know,
Thanks.
this
How did you make
font.
them? Did
So-
you make them yourself or?
Vistaprint.
Vista
I mean, I designed them myself, but yeah.
So one's for your rental team, one's for your actual DJ.
Yes.
That's
Alright,
cool.
so for his rental, if you want to rent out some gear, it's at EPRteam.com. And then if you want to hire DJ Alex Brown, it's DJAlexBrown.com.
Yep.
And if you want his personal phone number,
Yeah.
I actually the phone number on this card is wrong, even though I just got them because I just set up like a separate phone number that has one of those like call menus where like you call it and it's like, thank you for calling EPR team. Please select from the whatever
gonna-
options.
someone call
Press
that.
1 for Alex. You know.
Yeah.
it's gonna go to like an old lady. when they
But
call
it forwards to my phone number. So
Oh, I
okay,
see.
okay,
I
good,
see.
good, good.
That's cool.
I do get crank calls. Some I don't know if it's because my phone number's on the cards and stuff, but sometimes I have sounds like a 14-year-old kid, and they're like, hi.
And they just hang up.
And I'm like,
Like, yo, where's the Alex?
Why?
You know?
Is your refrigerator running?
Oh my god, bro! Like, it's like we're in the fucking '90s and shit with that. You know, listen, as a DJ, you know, you gotta be prepared for these things.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta
Yeah,
beat
I
the
mean,
fuck
I
out of
go
these
through-
era kids. You know?
yeah.
God forbid they, crank call you again. So,
Man.
I think to wrap this up, I want to ask one more question. This is like, it can go with DJing, but this can go however you want it to
Okay.
go. If the whole, do me a favor, when I'm asking this, just look in that camera. If the whole world was listening to you right now at this moment, what would your message be?
Man, that's something you got to give me time to prepare
Nope,
for.
right now.
Right now.
They gave me like a minute because I do this all the time.
Yeah, like
Um,
we'll do that later on today.
I would say give people a chance.
Okay.
That's what I would say, because I think that applies in life and business and DJing. Like I have plenty of people who contact me and they're like, "What's your price? I want to hire you." And then I have people who contact me and they're price shopping. And I know that some people that contact me, like they contact me and they're like, "Yeah, it's at this rinky-dink little hall in Cranston, and our reception is 5 hours low key," and I'm like, look, I'm probably not your DJ, but there is also something to be said for the fact that the service I provide may not be for everyone, but at the same time it also probably should be for everyone, because I provide like a very hands-on service for weddings. And even if people gave me the chance to say, hey, look, your price is too high, it's out of our budget, I'll usually say, well, I could recommend you to someone who has a lower price that either provides a similar service to me with a little bit less hands-on, or if it's if their budget's really low, then I'm going to send them to someone who's a little less hands-on. But I know a lot of people who I've mentored. I know a lot of people who are friends of friends that are DJs. So usually if somebody contacts me, I can find them someone. They just have to give me the chance to get them someone. And then even when it comes to life and things, like when it comes to people's beliefs, like whether it's political or religious or whatever it may be, give people the chance to explain whatever it is, because I think that a lot of people would find that we'd have a better world and a lot less conflict if people kind of gave people a chance and listened.
Yeah,
but
communication's key. I agree.
Absolutely.
100%. Good
Yeah.
message. I think a good way to
Thank you.
end off the episode. I just want to personally thank you, from all of us for taking the time to come on here, because we tried to do this for months, but just things kept getting tacked on. We were supposed to do this like a few weeks ago, but
Right.
you had a wedding to go to, so.
Yeah.
But we're thankful that we were finally able to get you on. Very interesting dialogue, discussions. I now know more about what a DJ is. Like, I now know it means disc jockey.
Yeah. A lot of people,
No,
to me, that's like, sometimes people are like, wait, does DJ stand for something? And, to me, it's like, wow, that's obvious. But, to some people, that's like, totally foreign.
Why isn't it vinyl jockey?
Honestly,
I guess a
couldn't
vinyl's
tell
just
you.
like a big disc.
I will say that there is VJs, which are video jockeys.
Okay, I can see why it's not vinyl jockey.
Yeah.
I know. But yeah, but I don't think video jockeys were really around when DJs started out anyway. So
I think that's just called an editor today. Video jockey just remixing videos,
But they're like, so if you look at like a music festival, like Ultra Music Festival in Miami, like they'll have like a DJ and then they have like a VJ, a video jockey that's like playing like the live visuals behind them and stuff.
All right, I got
They're
That's
like
usually
remix, and then it's just like Lil Uzi on the.
comes out.
And then it's just like.
Technically, you can have an LJ too, which would be light jockey, but usually those people are just called like lighting technicians or lighting designers. But
I see.
that's more of like a preference term. Video jockey is pretty standard.
Well, thank you for joining us, Alex.
Thank you for having me, guys.
His socials are in the description as well as ours. We are on everything. He is on everything. I'm pretty sure.
You on Pandora?
I'm on more than everything.
Ooh.
So Pandora.
Pornhub.
I don't know about Pandora.
All right, nah, he lied.
Pornhub.
He's actually answering this.
See,
But thank you for coming out. It was very nice to meet you.
It's just got so formal.
Well, yes.
It's very nice to meet you.
Yes, very nice to meet you.
Sir, very nice to meet you.
I've known you for a
I
while,
know
but
you.
I want to shake your hand again.
Very nice to meet you, sir.
Yeah, and
Miguel
I know, Alex.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna
okay,
remix
we'll-
things.
we'll
So
give it to
usually what we
Alex.
do is we put Miguel on the spot and ask him what his final words are. Alex, what are your final words before we end this episode?
to your mind.
No time to think. Right now, what are your final words?
3, 2, 1.
Weren't my final words what I just said about giving people a chance?
Okay, that's his final.
All right. Thank you for watching,
That's-
Miguel. You
that's what I
blocked
would
me
say.
with your head.
You're